Hello dear students, I am Dr. Tushar Salve, Assistant Professor and Head of Department of Electronic Science. I welcome you all on this e-learning platform. As per the guidelines of Savitribai Phule Pune University, the revised syllabus with choice-based credit system, that is CBCS, have been implemented from last year. In the situation of pandemic, it is difficult for you to attend the classes physically. Therefore, we are going to meet for lectures through online mode. For this semester, we are going to learn the paper second of FYBSc, that is Electronic Devices and Circuits. The syllabus is divided into, total syllabus is divided into 3 units. The first unit is PN junction diodes, second is BJT, FET, MOSFET basics and their applications, and last unit is photoelectric devices. The total syllabus will be covered in 30 hours and 10 hours are allotted for each unit. We start with the first unit. In first unit, we are going to learn the junction diode, its construction, working, IV characteristics, some basic terminologies of diode, which are depletion region, barrier potential, forward and reverse bias condition, junction capacitance, diode current equation, then effect of temperature on reverse saturation current. Then we are going to study different types of diodes, rectifier diode and Zener diode. Then we are going to see the applications of diode as a voltage regulator in Zener diode case, then rectifying diode in half wave, full wave and bridge rectifiers, then few terminologies related to rectifiers, which are ripple factor, use of diode in mobile charger and power supply, and also we are going to see some regulator ICs. Now let's start with the introduction of diode. What is diode? Dear friends, we know the diode is a two-terminal electronic component which conducts current primarily in one direction only. That is, it has very low resistance, almost zero resistance in one direction, and very high resistance, that is ideally infinite, in other direction. So current can flow only in one direction. This is the symbol of diode. This is anode and this is cathode. This is circuit symbol of diode, and this is the construction symbol, we can say, of diode, where this is P region, P-type semiconductor, and this is N-type semiconductor. These details we are going to see in detail in next lecture. Here we are going to see only the introductory part. Then diode, we can say, is a solid state electronic device made from a semiconducting material. We know what is semiconductor. Semiconductor has electrical properties which lies in between of that of conductor and insulator. Most of the modern solid state electronic devices are made from semiconducting material, that is silicon. It could be germanium, it could be selenium, it could be a compound semiconductor, that is gallium arsenide, and other semiconductors. The resistivity of semiconductor is affected by several things. First is amount of impurity, then light exposed, heat, and external electric field. That means the semiconductor properties can be changed by adding impurities. The semiconducting properties can be altered if light is exposed on that semiconductor. If the semiconductor is treated with heat, then the properties again change, and if we apply some external electric field, then also the properties of semiconductor changes. Then there are two terminologies of semiconductor. One is intrinsic and other is extrinsic. Intrinsic semiconductor is nothing but a pure semiconductor, and extrinsic semiconductor is with added impurities. And the process of adding those impurities to pure semiconductor is called doping. So in short, we can say if we add the impurities or if we dope a intrinsic semiconductor, then after doping the semiconductor becomes extrinsic. Now let us see in detail how the doping process is done. We start with the silicon. We know silicon valency is 4, that the 4 electrons in its outermost shell. Then each silicon atom shares its 4 outer electrons with 4 neighboring atoms. So if this silicon atom has 4 electrons in an outermost shell, then these all 4 electrons will be shared with some nearby atom. Likewise, so these shared electrons, or we can say bonds, can be seen like this. And when some impurity is added, now that this we have seen, this is the intrinsic semiconductor. This is pure semiconductor. There are no impurities added in this pure semiconductor. This is silicon. There are no impurities. Now we are interested to make this semiconductor as p-type and n-type. In this case, if we add boron to this silicon, what happens? We get a p-type semiconductor which has void, or which is lack of electron, and it is termed as a hole. Dear friends, you can see here, like this is the boron atom has been added to these nearby silicon atom. This is just for an example. So what happens eventually? This boron is a trivalent impurity and it has only 3 electrons to share with the nearby atoms. So there is a lack of electron in this case, and this lack of electron is termed as a hole, or this is termed as a void. Similarly, if we add an antimony, in this case boron is acceptor impurity, we can say, since there is a lack of electron. So it is going to accept 1 electron. Therefore, this is acceptor impurity, boron. And now we are going to see the donor impurity. Let us take an example of antimony. Similarly to the silicon, if we add an antimony atom, antimony is a pentavalent impurity atom which is having 5 electrons in its outermost shell. So these 4 and this extra. So what happens? The 4 electrons of antimony will be shared by nearby 4 atoms. Which nearby 4 atoms? This one electron will be shared with this silicon, then this silicon atom, and this silicon atom. And still there is 1 electron balance, 1 electron valence, that is 5th valence electron, and it forms a n-type semiconductor which is going to have an excess electron. That's why it is a donor impurity. And now when this n-type material goes in connection with the p-type, this electron is ready to move. So there is an excess of electron in n-type semiconductor, and in p-type semiconductor there is a hole which is a majority carrier. Here in n-type semiconductor the majority carriers are electrons, and in p-type material the majority carriers are holes. Now let us see further. Now we are having p-type material and n-type material. So only p-type and n-type material by themselves are of very limited use. We cannot make devices out of only p-type material and n-type material. So by creating a p-n junction together, either by Grone junction, alloyed junction, diffuse junction, or ion implantation method, produces a rectifying diode. So what we have to do, we have to bring p and n material together, p-type semiconductor and n-type semiconductor material together by these methods. So we are going to get our rectifying diode in this case. And while creating those semiconducting materials, there are several parameters that can be changed at the time of manufacturing. So what are those parameters? We can change the impurity level, we can form the p-n junction by different method, and we can choose different semiconducting material. So we can have different diode applications. The diode formed by different parameter could be a LED, it could be rectifying diode, it could be Zener diode, switching diode, and photodiode. So in short, we can say by changing the parameters at the time of manufacturing, we can form different type of diode. So diode can be formed with different junctions for different applications. So if it is a single junction of p-type and n-type semiconductor, then we can form the LED, Zener diode, and rectifying diode. If there are two junctions, we can form a bipolar junction transistor. And if there are three junctions of PN, then we can form a SCR, that is silicon controlled rectifier. And in this way, by using semiconducting material, various types of devices can be produced, which are diode, triac, SCR, UJT, FET, and MOSFET. This FET and MOSFET is a special type of transistor which is used in nowadays in IC packaging. Now let us look some terminologies of diode. The first that we are going to see is a junction capacitance. So what happens when we bring the p-type material and n-type material together? The p side depletion region is negatively charged because its holes have recombined with free electrons from the n side. Friends, when we have said that in p-type region the majority carrier are holes, and in n-type material the majority carriers are electrons, but in p-type region the minority carrier are electrons, and in n-type region the minority carrier are holes. Now in this p region we have seen there are free holes to interact with electrons, and in n-type region there are free electrons to interact with holes. So what happens, these electrons from n side will interact with p side, so they have donated the electrons, that's why the positive charge have been appeared near n region. And similarly, this p region holes have accepted the electrons from n side, therefore a negative charge is appeared near the p region. So these are acceptor impurities, these are donor impurities in n region. In n region they have donated the electrons, that's why there is a positive charge, and towards n region, I repeat, they have accepted the electrons, that's why there is a negative charge appeared towards the p region. And what happens? This is the unbiased case, unbiased p-n junction. Unbiased means there is no external electric field applied. Now there can be two cases. If we apply a positive terminal of the battery to the p region and negative terminal to the n region, then this is called as forward bias p-n junction. In this case, this depletion region gets narrower, it gets thin, And in other case, if the negative of the battery is connected to the P type and positive of the battery is connected to the N type, then this is termed as reverse bias PN junction. In this case, this depletion region gets wide and wide. So these are two things that happens during the forward and reverse bias potential. So let us come to the point of junction capacitance. What is junction capacitance? We know what is capacitor. Capacitor is nothing but the dielectric material which is separated by, or it is enclosed with the two parallel plates. It is termed as capacitor. And here the two types of charges are there due to accepting the impurities and due to donting the impurities. So this is negative ions and these are positive ions. So we can say this is, in this case, the P type works as a contact, and these two contacts are separated by this dielectric material. So it is equivalent to the capacitor like this. This is the conducting plate, this is the conducting plate, and inside this region is a dielectric material. Similarly, diode can be termed as a capacitor when the positive and negative ions are separated by these P and N, these two parallel plates. So there is a capacitance, and this capacitance is given as junction capacitance, which is equal to dq by dV, where Cj is termed as junction capacitance, dq is the change in electric charge, dV is change in voltage. So what we can say, upon application of voltage, there is a change in electric charge in this depletion region. So if we change the applied voltage to the diode, the depletion region or depletion width changes. In short, the capacitance changes, and we know the capacitance is given by epsilon naught A upon W, where W is the width, epsilon is the permittivity of semiconductor, and area is the plate of the capacitor, or in this case of diode, the A is the area of the P type and N type regions, and W is the width of this depletion region. So this diode is simply nothing but a capacitor. Now let us take a look at the diode current equation. We have said that in diode the current flows only in a one direction, from positive to negative, or from P type to N type. So since there is a current, there should be some equation, and this equation which gives the expression for current to the diode as a function of applied voltage to the diode. Obviously, without application of voltage to the diode, there will be no current flow. So we have to apply either forward bias or reverse bias current. But current is going to flow only in only when the diode will be forward bias. So there is a relation of this, that current flowing through the diode is a function of applied voltage, and this current is given as ID is equal to I0 into e raised to qV upon kT minus 1, where this ID is the net current flowing through the diode, I0 is the dark saturation current or the diode leakage current density in the absence of light, or it is also called as reverse saturation current. What is reverse saturation current? It is extremely important parameter which differentiates one diode from another, and this I0 or reverse saturation current is a measure of the recombination in the device. A diode with larger recombination will have larger I0. This I0 is as a result of minority carriers present in the diode. As the amount of this is more, we can say the recombination is more. Then V over here is the applied voltage across the two terminals of diode. Q is the absolute value of electronic charge, K is Boltzmann constant, and T is absolute temperature of the junction at which the diode is being operated. Now after seeing the diode current equation, let us see the effect of temperature on reverse saturation current. You can see in the figure, friends, we note here that I0 increases as T increases and I0 decreases as material quality increases, and at room temperature or 300 Kelvin, this factor KT upon Q is equal to 28.5 millivolt, which is the thermal voltage. And from this equation given, we can conclude that the current should decrease with increase in temperature, but exactly opposite happens. That is, rise in temperature in diode leads to more electron hole pair in the diode, thus increases conductivity and increases current. Reverse saturation current of the diode increases with rise in temperature. This is the reverse saturation current, I said, which increases as the temperature of the junction increases. And what is the factor with which it increases? The increase in the reverse saturation current with increase in temperature is 7% of each degree Celsius of both germanium and in case of silicon diode. And also reverse breakdown voltage increases with increase in temperature. This is the equation for non-ideal diodes, where N is the ideality factor which changes between 1 to 2, and it typically increases as the current decreases. If you want to study more about the temperature dependence of diode IV characteristics, you can visit the link given over here. Thank you.